Today we're back in Germany to ride the newest train in the country, and one that's not without its controversy. We'll be in first class on board this Talgo ICE-L for this 3-hour trip from Hamburg up to the unique island of Sylt. I will show you around all the classes, the onboard facilities and the dining car, and talk about why this train has caused such a stir for Deutsche Bahn. So come along with me on another epic Nonstop Eurotrip. This journey starts in Hamburg in northern Germany. This is the second largest city in the country and the 6th largest in the EU, with a population of around 2 million people. As far as big German cities go, I quite like it here. Especially as it's home to the world's biggest model railway, which is over 15 kilometres of track. Okay, let's head to the station. I was staying at the Ghana Hotel, right outside the eastern entrance. This fabulous station dates back to 1906 and houses 8 mainline, 4 S-Bahn commuter and 8 U-Bahn metro platforms. The entrance to the latter you can see straight ahead here. There is a multitude of different shops and food outlets across 2 levels. There is also a staff ticket office and travel centre here. I love the design, especially the wrought iron, glass walls and ceilings. The most impressive part, however, is the arched barrel train shed roof, which spans 70 metres across all mainline platforms. From the first floor balcony, you get wonderful views over Germany's largest unsupported train station canopy. Our train today is the 10:25 AM ICE 2074, which started in Berlin and is currently 16 minutes delayed. Let's check out the route. We will depart Hamburg and head northwest, making 4 planned intermediate stops en route before crossing the causeway over to the island of Sylt. Okay, to the platform. These all have step-free access by lifts if required. As I am just about to head down to the advertised platform 8, our train is switched over to platform 5. This was announced over the tannoy as well as the departure boards changing. And here comes our train for today, hauled by this České dráhy Siemens Vectron Class 384 electric locomotive. This version has a top speed of 230 km/h and a maximum power output of 6,400 kilowatts. They were meant to be hauled by DB's own new Talgo Class 105 locomotives, but these have yet to be delivered, just one of the many problems facing these trains' entry to service. Trailing is the brand new 17 coach rake of Talgo 230 ICE-L coaches. These feature the iconic Talgo weight saving design, where a single wheel set is shared between 2 coaches, but more on that later. There are 562 total seats, of which 477 are second class and 82 are first class, where we'll be travelling today. The rearmost coach is also a control car, which will allow for push-pull operation when they are eventually certified. I do think they look pretty smart though. What do you think? The L in ICE-L stands for low floor. Level boarding is another Talgo feature, assuming correct platform height, such as here in Hamburg. The door next to the wheelchair spaces has a sliding step too to bridge the small gap. The first class coaches are laid out in a 2+1 configuration, and despite the greyness of the interior looking quite bland, the lighter coloured head cushions and armrests, along with the wooden tables, make the overall aesthetic quite pleasant. We will check them out in more detail once we get going. Staying connected while always on the move can be complicated, but Holafly makes it incredibly simple. I am currently using Holafly's global eSIM, giving me fast and unlimited data without constantly changing SIM cards or worrying about expensive roaming charges. Coverage has been excellent throughout the past 2 weeks of this Eurotrip, where I visited 5 countries with the 4G and 5G seamlessly switching as I cross each international border. Holafly offers eSIMs for more than 200 destinations, including global coverage and over 15 regional packages, so you can choose the one that best suits your trip. Frequent travellers can also benefit from Holafly plans, which covers more than 160 destinations. There are unlimited data and 25GB light options with no contract, and you can cancel at any time. You'll also receive the Always On benefit, providing 1GB of global backup data every month from the moment your eSIM is installed. And if you need assistance, Holafly's support team is available 24/7 through web chat or WhatsApp. Use code Nonstop Eurotrip to get 5% off any Holafly eSIM or 10% off a Holafly plan subscription for your first 12 months. Click my link above or in the description below to get connected with Holafly today. In the end, we leave 18 minutes after the scheduled departure time at 10:43 AM. This journey from Hamburg to Westerland on the island of Sylt covers 240 kilometers, which is planned to take us 3 hours and 17 minutes of travel time. I booked about 2 weeks in advance and got my Spa price ticket for €48.99, which is pretty good value in my opinion. This included an optional seat reservation fee of €6.90. With hindsight, I definitely didn't need to buy this, but you just never know with German trains. However, if you book earlier, then Super Spa price tickets start from €35.99 in first class or from just €26.99 in second class. Various discounts for children up to the age of 14 are also applicable, see on screen now. All onboard announcements are made in both German and English.
Wir begrüßen Sie hier recht herzlich in unserem ICE auf den Weg nach Westerland. Via the next one will be Itzehoe, Heide, Husum, Nibel, and in the end Westerland. We say thank you and wish you a warm welcome here on board.
Shortly after departure, tickets are checked and the first class host comes around to take food or drinks orders. I passed on this as I want to visit the dining car myself later on. Luggage can be stored on the stacks near to the coach ends or on the overhead racks up above. The seat does look very stylish, and although far from the most comfortable I've tried, had OK padding, a reasonable shape and a large winged headrest. There is a reading light built into this too. There are movable padded armrests, and the seat can be reclined a bit using this button and sliding the base. Legroom is pretty good, with the seat in front featuring an adjustable footrest too. This also has a small netted storage pocket and a large tray table with drinks indent. A small phone holder is at the top of the seat back. There is also a drinks holder in between the two seats and a litter bin down below. Two standard European style power sockets can be found just next to your own seat. Up above are both fixed and movable coat hooks and a very good window blind. Overall, a reasonably comfortable first class product. You can scan the QR code on the seat back to connect to the ICE portal, which includes free Wi-Fi for all passengers. This was easy to connect to, but was woefully slow. As we pick up a bit of speed, you can really hear the Talgo ride quality come to light. While it is not as bad as some I have been on, there is just a constant background rattle with occasional big bumps. There are also some other interesting noises that the train makes, like these strange hissing sounds. We are now on the approach to Itzehoe, where our Český dráhy Vectron locomotive will be swapped for a Deutsche Bahn bi-mode version for the rest of the route to Sylt, which is currently unelectrified. There is a scheduled 16-minute stop here for this to take place, and we are just over 15 minutes late on arrival. Anyway, after sitting around for another 15 minutes, a man with a high-vis came down outside our coach, and after some hands-on heads, a few phone calls and a complete train reboot, we are on the move again at 11:54, now 38 minutes late. I have no idea what happened, there were no announcements made. Okay, let's go and check out the rest of the train now. These Talgo coaches are short, around half the length of a normal sized train coach, and due to this they don't have toilets in every one. There are 11 throughout the 17 coaches, including one which is fully accessible. Here is one of the regular ones. The water, soap and paper towels were all stocked up, as was the toilet roll. The toilet flush worked and it was very clean overall. Now let's have a look at second class, which is in a 2+2 layout with a mix of airline style and bay seating around a table. The seats are similar to mine in first class, however come with a reduced width and legroom as you'd expect. All the other amenities are the same, with the exception of a shared centre armrest and no reading light. Honestly, if you could guarantee the train is as empty as it is today, then I would go for second class every time. Moving through to the wheelchair spaces, of which there are 3, all with 2 accompanying companion seats and all the facilities you get in the other classes. The fully accessible toilet, along with baby changing facilities, is in the adjacent vestibule. This was also very clean. A bit further and there are lots of amenities for families travelling with children. First, we have this compartment which features 2 sets of bay seating and a large central space for buggies and prams. More of the latter can be found in the next coach along, as well as plenty more seating dedicated to families, which can be identified by the cartoon decorated walls. All of this is absolutely brilliant to see. Right down the far end there are 8 vertical bike storage spaces. You must have a bike ticket to bring one on board, which start from €7.50 depending on distance. The bike space reservation is included with this ticket. We are now passing over the Kiel Canal, which dates back to 1887. Every year around 32,000 ships use this 98km waterway, which links the North and Baltic Seas, reducing their transit distance by 460 kilometers. Although I am pretty impressed with most of the interior of this new Talgo ICE-L, the bistro dining car is where it's seriously let down. It has just 12 seats for the 17 coach train. There is also a vastly inferior menu to regular ICE services with just 3 hot options, which is very disappointing. I went for the chili con carne and bread roll along with a warm Coke Zero as they weren't chilled and they had no ICE. Ironic, eh? It wasn't exactly good value either, with the total being €16.70. At Heide we pass a southbound service from Westerland to Berlin. This journey takes just over 5.5 hours in total. After Hamburg heading eastbound, the train can use the high-speed line to get up to its maximum speed of 230 km per hour. I'm going to have a moan now that Deutsche Bahn have branded this train as an ICE, which is their flagship high-speed brand. There is no way that this train is anywhere close to on a par with the recently introduced 320 km per hour capable ICE3 Neo. I rode this not too long ago and the difference is night and day. I believe they have branded this Talgo set as an ICE to simply allow them to charge higher fares. We are now coming up to the most interesting part of today's route. Our destination, Westerland, is on the holiday island of Sylt, near to the Danish border in the far north of Germany. This island does not have a road connection to the mainland, and as such the only way to reach it is by ferry or rail. And if you want to take your vehicle, then it will be loaded onto one of these auto-rack shuttle trains here at Nibel. This is a hugely popular service with holidaymakers, day trippers and delivery drivers alike, with departures up to every half hour in peak summer season. To take your car over to Sylt, prices start from €68 one way or €112 for a return journey which includes all passengers. At most times you can just turn up and go, but booking in advance in peak holiday season is definitely recommended, as you can see how busy it gets. As well as these ICE-L services, there is also the hourly RE6 regional train from Hamburg to Westerland. One of these trains can be seen over on the far platform here. I was about to say how well we are doing for time now, with our delay still hovering around the same as before. However, all is about to go catastrophically wrong in a way only German railways can manage. We come to a rest at Klangspool, the last station on the mainland. We were not scheduled to stop here, which is never a good sign. I thought maybe it was due to some congestion on the single track sections ahead. But no, I will spare you the waiting around, but we were stationary for over 45 minutes while the train was restarted a number of times, with the AC, power sockets and carriage lights going on and off repeatedly during this period. Finally, and with the onboard information screen still not having caught up with our delay, I felt like cheering once we finally started moving again. This next 10 minutes is by far where you will see the best train window views of the journey. Leaving the German mainland, we must first pass through the Rickenspuller Kug Wetland Nature Reserve. Before crossing the Hindenburg Dam, an 11-kilometre man-made causeway across to the island of Sylt, which opened in 1927.
Dear guests, in a few minutes we arrived at our last stop, Westerland. Today 70 minutes delayed. At 40:41 we are there on platform 1. We say thank you and wish you a pleasant afternoon.
We finally arrive at Westerland station at 2:45 PM, actually 74 minutes delayed. This entitles me to a 25% refund on my ticket price, which is easily claimed through the DB app. I had the money back to my card 3 days later. As we alight, let me summarise this journey from Hamburg to Westerland on board the new DB Talgo ICE-L. Overall, it's a good train internally, well fitted out to a premium finish and quite comfortable. The price I paid was reasonable. It certainly doesn't live up to the ICE name, either in speed, ride quality, or even the dining car offering. It's a shame that DB branded it as such, as I think Intercity would have been much more fitting. Have you been on a DB ICE-L in Germany yet? If so, what was your experience like? Let me know in the comments below. I will have a video coming soon on the nearly identical Danish version of this train, so stay tuned for that. Spoiler alert, it was way worse. Don't forget to subscribe, thanks for watching to the end, and I'll see you in the next video.